Today, honestly, it's my honor to be sitting next to a world champion, a winner of several accolades, including the prestigious Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan. Also, इन्हें प्यार से कहा जाता है इंडिया की बेटी, और उससे भी ज़्यादा प्यार से कहा जाता है पाकिस्तान की भाभी. So I'm sitting right next to the global sports icon, सानिया मिर्ज़ा. आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपने हमें अपने घर में आने की इजाज़त दी. कहते हैं 2 महीने में खुदा भी मिल जाता है, बट आपका अपॉइंटमेंट लेने में हमें 2.5 महीने लग गए. तो why is it so hard to get hold of you, Sania?
Well, actually, I was not really meeting people because of the whole pandemic. Like I said, we're just being a bit careful, and I was traveling. मैं थी नहीं. I was traveling a little bit, तो इसी वजह से, unfortunately. But I'm glad we're here.
Yeah, so are we. Tell us about your life in Dubai in general, because आप होती तो दुबई में, बट जो भी दुबई में होता है वो अक्सर कहीं ना कहीं नज़र आ जाता है, बट आप किसी गायबाना तरीके से दुबई में हैं कि आप इतना नज़र नहीं आती. I mean, we get to know only through your stories, through your...
Actually, हम लोग इतने we are not socially so active, so to say. हम लोग जब भी दुबई आते हैं, we try to relax quite a lot, क्योंकि हम जब इंडिया या पाकिस्तान में होते हैं तो we're not relaxing as much. और मैं बस अपना रूटीन करती हूँ. I'm with the baby and I have my practice and training, and Shoaib has his. वो actually श्रीलंका में है, वो आज रात में आ रहे हैं. तो we're always traveling as well, and तो हाँ, हम लोग ज़्यादातर we try to eat at home. We're home birds more.
Okay, I guess. Is that so? Maybe because you guys travel so much कि घर फिर ज़्यादा याद होता होगा.
Yeah.
Homesickness भी
Yeah,
ज़्यादा
we like staying at home.
Okay, cool. How has the lockdown treated you, or how have you actually managed to survive this insane period?
I think that everybody's had their struggles with the lockdown. Everybody's had different kind of struggles, and I think that we should just feel happy and grateful that we're healthy and we have a roof above our head. The kind of scenes that you got to see, especially in India with the migrant workers and stuff like that, was very sad. So it's been a difficult time for everybody in different ways, I think. A lot of people have lost jobs. Financially it's been tough, and also just trying to stay healthy. So I think that like I said, it's taught me especially to appreciate smaller things. I think lockdown has taught us all that we should feel grateful for being healthy, for being with family, for being safe. And I think Alhamdulillah, it's been fine for me. I can't say that it's been a horrible time. Of course there are other issues, but I think there are a lot of people in the world who've had it worse, and hopefully this is going to end soon.
You for me, you are pretty much like a queen of long distance relationships, because you have been away from your family. Shoaib keeps on traveling. Your best friend Farah, I assume Pariniti, they all are not here. उनका base जो है वो दूसरी जगह पर है. How do you kind of manage this long distance relationship?
I think it is what it is, really. I think we all are very busy in our own lives, and we do have to focus on ourselves, but I'm a big believer in that. But I think that I've been able to manage that because that's the only kind of relationships I've known. I've traveled since I was at the age of 10, and now I'm 34, so I've traveled for 24 years of my life, and I've always had friends. Even with my parents, I was always apart from one of them because we were traveling for tennis and stuff. So it's just the way it is. You just get your head around it, and you try and maintain maintain as much as possible. I mean, it's become a lot easier with having a phone and all kinds of communication that is there today. So it's really not that bad. But I think that the toughest one is obviously to manage with your husband, because you both are traveling so much, especially now after having a baby. But yeah, it's going well. I mean, it's been 11 years, so it's going all right.
True that. I know it's been 11 years already. अच्छा, मुझे एक चीज़ आपसे जो पूछनी थी, since you said that you've been traveling from the age of 10, you started tennis
when I was 6. Yeah.
And then you actually defeated somebody who was like 15 years.
Yeah, when I was 8, I
when
did.
You were 8, yeah. तो कभी, of course, अभी उस time पे it's too soon to say कि यार this is my calling. But I know, I'm curious to your parents.
Yeah, I think that at that kind of age, it's your parents who are kind of encouraging you to do different things in life, and I think it's very important for those for kids to have parents who are encouraging towards different things and who are believing in their kids. And I was lucky enough to have parents like that who kind of just nudged me towards my calling, so to say. And I think that eventually when I was 12, 13 is really when I knew that okay, this is what I want to do.
Your father comes from like a sports background. He's a sports journalist, right?
Yeah, my dad used to be a sports journalist. He used to play cricket. We've had a lot of cricket in our family, but no tennis player. So I was the first one. We've had my yeah, we've had an Indian cricket captain, we've had Ranji players.
Hmm.
Obviously, I got married to a cricketer, and
Yeah.
my sister got married to a cricketer, and into a cricketing family. So we
Yeah.
have a lot of cricket in our blood.
True
But
that.
tennis is something that didn't come very naturally. But I'm glad that I was the first one in our family to do it.
And you used to kind of pass by the tennis court जब आप swimming करने जा रही होती थी, and that's how it.
Yeah, I used to swim, play tennis, and skate. ये तीनों चीज़ें मैं करती थी. So I happen to be slightly better at tennis, I guess, than the
okay.
other things. And yeah, rest is history, like they say.
आपकी अपनी क्या assessment है? How far has tennis reached? Because I think India और पाकिस्तान की अगर दोनों की बात करें तो I think it's Sania Mirza और इसामुल हक who have really brought tennis on a global map, especially अगर हम South Asia की बात करें. But do you think that सानिया मिर्जा के बाद और इसाम के बाद साउथ एशिया में टेनिस जो है has it really improved?
I think it's difficult to talk about it as a whole of South Asia. I think there are certain things that are very different in India regarding sport, and we have a lot more tennis players in India, who have come out. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, after Assam, there's not been someone who has come to that level or even close. But in India, it does happen, especially the guys are in a better position. We've got a couple of top 100 players. We've had Rohan Bopanna, who's been 3 in the world, who used to play with Assam actually. We've obviously had Leander Pace and Mahesh Bhupati. So we've had a few. I mean, I think the girls are probably not, so to say, in as good as a space as the men are from India. Lekin it's getting better. I mean, it's definitely much better than 25 years ago when I was playing. So it's only getting better, yeah.
While I was reading about you, I got to know कि आपने ये वाली term बहुत मर्तबा यूज़ की है कि हमारी hand-eye coordination बहुत अच्छी होती है. What does that mean? While you are on the court.
Well, hand-eye coordination is the basic thing you need to play any sport, and some people have a lot of it, some people have less of it, some people, so it just really depends. It's about how you're coordinating your eye with your limbs, really, and when you see a ball, how you react and how fast you react to it. So
okay, so it's got nothing to do with your partner. I thought कि वो जो उसको इशारा करते हैं, because I was actually watching your match. उसमें आप हर थोड़ी देर में you would say something to either Federer के साथ भी मैंने आपको जो I think जो दिल्ली में हुआ था IPL.
Yeah.
What do you guys talk about? वो इतनी छोटी सी देर में what are those?
We talk about
cues?
where we're going to serve and where we're going to hit the ball, so that the other person is in tune with.
हाल चाल नहीं पूछ रहे होते हैं.
कितने बार पूछेंगे 2 घंटे में.
True that. Okay. So speaking of tennis, Sania, is there any one memory of probably आप तो खैर इतने अनगिनत matches खेले, what would you rate as your most difficult and the most interesting match?
Oh, I mean, it's very difficult to say what was the most difficult. I think every match that you play, you have to give your 100% no matter who you're playing. So you can't really judge it like that. But I think that probably one of the best memories is when I became number 1 in the world. I think that's probably a memory, and that's something that every person wants in their life, is to be the best at what they do in the entire world. So so I think that will probably be the best memory. But toughest match, I think it's unfair to say. I think all matches are probably as tough as the other. Yeah.
And why do they say that tennis is actually a rich man's game? What's the
Because
context?
I think when you play cricket, there's about 22 people who can play with 2 bats in a ball, or even 1 bat in a ball. And when you're playing tennis, or when you're playing football, you have 1 ball and you have many people who can play. But when you play tennis, you need rackets and you need a tennis court. It's not as simple as just going out in the garden or in a park and just starting to play tennis. You need stuff. So it's actually not really. I beg to differ a little bit there, because it's not really a rich man's sport. It's a rich man's sport if you want to become professional. But to play, I don't think it's really a rich man's sport. If you want to go and take lessons or basic, going and playing at courts and stuff, it's very reachable.